Hi, this is Majinoni, and here's a review of a haunted house in Phoenix, Arizona called The Nest. I believe The Nest is off of I-10 and Wild Horse Pass. Anyways, The Nest is I think it's $25 to get in. They do have coupons online for like $2 off, and you can also do a VIP pass, which I think is like $45, $50 or something like that. Which gets you straight in, or you can go online and prepay for the VIP, and I think it's like $29 or something like that. What I would probably recommend doing is buy the VIP online, since it's only a few dollars more, and that way you don't have to wait through the line, because this line is sometimes, it could be long, and you'll understand what I mean when I go through this haunted house. There are people here that, walk through the lines to try to scare you, get you, hyped up for it, in the mood. There's this animatronic thing over here, which is really, really bad. It looks like it's stripping, because it's on a pole that lifts it up and down, and that's why I mean it looks like a stripper, because it's, on a pole. The people over there are really friendly, at least the people that we interacted with outside of this building. And now, this is the one thing I'm going to say as my disclaimer. We were in line, and we were in the mood. Not when I keep in mind, I said my friend Fu and I were in the mood. We weren't like freaked out, but it was very atmospheric. You had people walking the lines. Every once in a while, you had some girls screaming when they're leaving, and we're like, "Oh, this could be cool." But then we receive a text message that says, "Oh, by the way, did you hear about the K-Pop Masters concert?" And we go online and we're seeing Beast and 4 Minute and all these other bands, TVXQ, Brown Eyed Girls, etc., etc. And we start freaking out because we're going, "How are we going to buy tickets? We have to buy tickets. I want to see these bands. I want to leave right now because we want to see this. Get the tickets." So by the time we go into this place, we're not even thinking about the haunted house any longer. We're thinking about concert in Vegas. And, of course, then we have to think of hotel, etc., etc., etc. But anyways, we weren't in the right mindset to be scared. But I will give a fair review on what I think is scary inside this thing, because there are some really good moments. So anyways, we go inside, and then you're greeted by a girl in here. And she gives you the rules. I could recommend, do not go in a fighting position and say something to the effect of, what if can I punch in self-defense? She doesn't find that amusing. Okay. So you're going to encounter a maze of mirrors, which is a very cool effect. It's not scary. There are, it could potentially startle you from time to time in this section, but this is actually, this was a good start. In my opinion, it just was well done, and short. Then you get another section here where there's it's like a mini graveyard. Very, very well done. It kind of moves you something like that, or something to that effect. And there's a lot of things in the dark that come out this way. There's stuff that comes out this way. So, that keeps you on your toes. And again, there's some things in here which are very well designed. The costuming, things like that. I give this section very high marks. Then there was another section here which is 3D. There's parts in this thing that gave me a headache, and this is an abomination that they should never put in. I understand 3D is very popular right now, and they feel the need to put 3D in here, but let me tell you something, you don't need it, because it looks like a gimmick now. So anyways, there's people out here that give you the glasses, and then when you exit, you drop the glasses in the box type thing. Anyways, so we leave here, and there's a big thing over here. And then there's this huge line. And there's a guy on the stage, and you can staple dollar bills or tens or whatever to his body. This wait in line was so annoying to us. We started to yell out if somebody could fix the lag, because this is ridiculous. This is what I'm thinking, and tell me if you think I'm out of line. you're in a haunted house, okay? Basically, in a haunted house, the key thing is to keep the flow moving. You're going from one room to another passageway, graveyard, whatever. You're supposed to continuously be moving, and with elements of things scaring you to keep you moving. When the minute you hit this open area and you see a strong, quote unquote strangest strong man, I think they call him, and you can staple things to him, I'm like, okay, now you become a circus carnival, and standing in line isn't scary. It's annoying. Think about it this way. How do you feel like when you're in a grocery store and you want to leave and you have only 2 items, but yet there's 10 people in front of you and everybody's got 20 items? That's what you feel like in this line. You don't want to be there. You want to move to the next part. Okay, anyways, that's my thing on this. This next part was a very annoying. Basically what it is, it's a maze of darkness. And it's complete and utter darkness. Now, my problem with it is it's too long. And, it's making you go right, left, up and... not up and down, but, it's back and forth. Lots of backtracking and, twists and turns. But the problem I have with it is not only is it that it's too long, it's not scary. There's like a horn honking, and yeah, you might get startled the first time you hear it, even though you've heard it 1,000 times outside. But the only reason it's startling is because it's dark and you don't know where it's coming from, and all of a sudden it goes and it's like that. What it needs is stuff on the walls to make because basically you're walking with your hands like this on the walls, right? And it needs something to get your hands off of the wall. There's a couple moments where you can feel a texture change, but it wasn't scary texture change. Another thing it needs is it needs more sounds from the other side of the wall, not horn honking like nails scratching. It needs there was laughter, but it needs something more sinister, a sinister laugh or something to that effect. Heck, even a crazy mutated baby laugh would be maybe scary. I don't know. But it's missing elements to make this thing scary. Another thing I thought was maybe if it had places early where it would branch into different pathways that lead to the same, ultimately to the same exit. Because if you imagine if you're in a group of, let's say, 4, and they're not holding onto each other's shirts, then it's possible one will go right and one will go left, especially if they have different textures on the wall that make your hands, let you move away from it. And I think if you can separate a group like that, that could be a little bit more scarier. And also, if there is a point where it would separate, you could possibly break up the congestion of people. Because we got run into by the group behind us, and I ran into the people in front of us. So something like that might have prevented that from happening, at least until we got to the end. Now, I was the brain surgeon on this one, and I actually found you're supposed to exit here. I exited there. I don't know how I did it, but I somehow managed to find I believe to be the employee entrance and exit, because this was behind the scenes here. There's like a rope that goes this way to your next destination, which is here. And actually the entrance is more right here. But anyways, so there's a rope there. And I came out here and we're like, hey, derpy, derpy, derp, something's not right, and they pushed us over here. Again, they were really nice people. This part here was the best part. Basically, this is where, if you look at the website, the Nest, there's a legend of this killer type thing, and this is this. It's like a hillbilly house. These hillbillies are obviously something like out of Last House to the Left or Wrong Turn, something to that effect. There's fake grass on the ground. There's like a trailer. There's, wash on a clothesline. It's just so well done. The house is, it has this really cool feeling to it. There's a lot of detailing, especially there's paint pictures on the walls. The way it looks dirty. My complaint is there's a couple rooms that just have too many people. There's too much going on. There's it looked like a kitchen-like place, and there's a couple people like interacting with you in the beginning part, and then you see this mutated thing way in the back, and I'm like, okay, I understand the mutated thing looks fake, but it's in the background now, and it's, you just casually go by it. It needed, I don't know if it needed to be closer or not, but because there's so much going on, you just kind of give it a glance and you don't pay attention to it. There's a couple animatronics in here that I noticed. I'm sure there might have been more, but the animatronics I thought was really bad because it ruined the illusion of this house. There's one, I will say at the beginning, which is god-awful. And there's something that's in a bedroom, which when you first see it, you're like, whoa, and then you go, okay, I'm done. That's kind of, eh. So, I would almost get rid of the animatronics. Now, eventually what happens is you get to a slaughterhouse, which is, deeper in. The slaughterhouse is the best part, and I swear they must hate me. Hate, Fu and I for this. Because as soon as we get into the slaughterhouse, we see the dead people, there's pig things, there's all sorts of stuff going on. We started to shout out, bacon, we need more bacon strips, and we were just trolling. We trolled the entire, as soon as we saw it, we trolled. And we trolled all the way through, and we didn't stop trolling. Some guy came up to me in a gas mask, and he's like, I'm going to make bacon out of you. And I was just like, epic meal time. I screamed out epic meal time. Give me more bacon. And I have a feeling the people in front didn't get it. And I have a feeling the people in front of me really thought I was a total asshole. But I know there's somebody in that vicinity who got it. And that's what I was doing that for. At the end, there's a guy with a chainsaw, and we were like, hey, can you cut us some bacon strips? And he just basically ignored us, and he paid attention to somebody who could possibly be scared. So anyways, this is my review of this place. Now that you get to see what it's like. Is it good? I think overall, if you look at the package, it's a very well put together package. I think there's 3 areas that are very well done. The mirrors, that graveyard scene, and then that house. The house needs to be bigger. This is what I would recommend them doing for next year. Get rid of the maze, or if you absolutely need to have this maze, make it the size or smaller than the house. And the house part needs to be the size of this maze. Now keep in mind, I fully understand that this could be the same size, but because of your depth perception, in the sense of distance distortion, I mean, you might actually think this is huge and it's really small. But my point that I'm making, I guess, is make it this smaller and make this bigger. That's my point. I think there are parts that will scare you. There's some definite good moments in here where we notice the people in front got scared. I can tell there's moments in this thing that people got to the point where they're being extra cautious, trying to go around corners, and that's a good sign. So I think there are things in here which are really good. The costuming, I think, is really well done. The makeup I did get a chance to look at least in these 2 areas, were well done. This looked like it was slopped together, but keep in mind, you're wearing 3D glasses, and the paint that they're using is designed to, pop out. So it actually could have been good, but because of the effect, it was harder to actually look at, to get a good look at. And it didn't quite make sense, because they didn't quite look like zombies, like regular zombies, or, things like that. So I don't know what they were going for. Maybe they could have been circus clowns for all I know, but they just didn't look good enough. Overall, based on the reactions that I've seen with some of those people coming out, at least from the line experience, and then the people in front of us, I think there's some decent scares, but at least Fu and I, we weren't scared. I don't think there was one moment we were scared. Were we startled? Sure, we were startled a couple times, just because it's like that sudden noise, or that sudden jump person lurching in front of you type thing. And, you know, that would scare you even with the lights on in some circumstances. So, you know, that's the cheap scare. This line here needs to be deleted entirely. They need to have this thing flow faster. That's why, again, I'm saying you almost need to get rid of this maze of darkness, just because it breaks the illusion, and it just makes you stop. You know, it makes you think about other things. Once you hit this line, all we thought was, again, lag and the concert. And when we're in these three sections here, we weren't thinking about those things. And so that's why this needs to get this thing needs to get deleted. Heck, I would have loved to see the graveyard even bigger and over here. You know, I would have loved to have seen that. That would have been, I think, a better showing. So overall, I think it was worth my time going. I had fun. And if you really have to think about it, isn't that what's important? Did you have fun? Fu and I did have fun. Granted, we had fun for some wrong reasons, but we still had some fun, especially the trolling. So if you do plan on going to see the nest and you get to the slaughterhouse, just shout out bacon strips, and then they'll hate me for that again. So that's my review. If you have any comments or questions, let me know. Rate the video up if you like horror movies and haunted houses, and I'll put some more videos and whatnot up later, some